Welcome to the No Name MMA Show.
Welcome back, everyone, to the best damn MMA podcast you've never heard of, the No Name MMA Show. Thank you for joining me on this lovely Wednesday, September 7th. As always, my name is Motivated Andy. And before we get into UFC Paris and that motherfucking dog fight of a main event, as it should be, and also all the fucking craziness and fucking wacky good card that is UFC 279, before we get into the heartbreak of talking about Tony Ferguson taking on another short notice fight. First, let's talk about what Nina and I ended up doing this past weekend. Yeah, our Labor Day weekend just got fucking rained the fuck out. It was just raining cats and dogs on our Monday. We ended up going to the pool for the last time this past Saturday. Then we watched the fights. But yeah, after that, we've been house hunting. We're going to be moving out of these apartments, these cursed apartments. We had that fucking terrorist attack that almost happened. And then we had that fucking gas leak. So yeah, fuck these apartments. We're out of here. We're fucking gone. We're going to be moving out before my birthday, which lost its main event. Jared Cannonier and Sean Strickland. God, I just remember that and now I'm bummed. That's my birthday. But yeah, that was our Labor Day weekend. It got rained out. We had some motherfucking pancakes, and just binged the fuck out of some Top Chef. I think we went through a couple seasons of that shit. We also ended up checking out that the Lord of the Rings show. Y'all, they spent fucking like $58 million an episode. I think some of the articles I was reading was like 5.1 million Amazon subscribers. That's how much money they spent into making this show. Enough to cover 5.1 million Amazon subscriptions. And the show, at least in my humble opinion, is fucking boring. Like, boring. Like, oh my god, I cannot believe how boring this shit is. I can't believe that they actually let this boredom, like, it's just like, oh, we're gonna take these Lord of the Ring properties and just like throw a bunch of cash at it and just expect it to stick. And I was just like, oh damn, dude. Like it, I'm so from my perspective, I've never watched the original Lord of the Rings trilogy, right? I've caught parts of it. I know that it's good. It wasn't my thing. And then by the time it was all over, it was like the biggest thing. So I was like, well, it's overhyped. I'm not into it. So then, years go by, and then I was just like, oh, fuck it. The Hobbit comes out. And I was like, well, everybody was so hyped on Lord of the Rings. I'll check this out. And I ended up falling asleep because that was my first experience of Lord of the Rings, was The Hobbit. And The Hobbit was trash. So now this is my second experience with the Lord of the Rings franchise. I don't even know what the fucking show is called. I know it's Amazon Lord of the Rings show. And it's bullshit. Like, it's not good. It's just not good. 2 episodes in, it's fine. I mean, they had that cool, like, dragon scene where it was like a dragon in the middle of a battle gets like shot down and it lands on a bunch of people, and I was like, oh shit, that's fucking dope. But that was it. And it's like trying to find Sauron, like, okay, cool, whatever. That's like an episode of the Lord of the Rings show, House of Dragon or whatever. That one was pretty good. Yeah, just, just more of the same. That's pretty much it. But yeah, enough of that personal bullshit. Off to the MMA headlines with MMA Minute. So yeah, Darren Till versus Dricus du Plessis. Yeah, verbally agreed upon. They're going to be fighting December 10th. That is, if Darren Till is actually able to make it to the fight. If he is, he's probably going to be injured going on the way there if he doesn't pull up beforehand. So good luck with that. I don't know why Dricus du Plessis decided to fight Darren Till. He's had plenty of these things happen where, I mean, even Kelvin, he was fighting Kelvin and then Kelvin pulled out. So why fight Darren Till? But yeah, I don't know. I love Darren Till, but also I can't fuck with drunk driving, man. It's too dumb. It's too dumb to even fucking try to play a devil's advocate with, you know? So yeah, I don't know. But moving on, and speaking of other fight announcements, we finally have the official UFC presentation that the fight is going to get signed, but it's still not signed. The contracts have been sent, though, and are supposed to be signed before Tuesday. And I'm finally talking about Dustin Poirier versus Michael Chandler, and it is set for MSG, 3 rounds. In addition to all this news, there was also a little tidbit about Michael Chandler re-signing to a multi-fight deal. Those details regarding the multi-fight deal that he re-signed for with the UFC, I couldn't find those details, so if anybody knows what's up, hit me up. But yeah, we finally get confirmation from the UFC that this fight's gonna happen. 3 rounds, fuck it, I don't care. I got Michael Chandler winning this. Dustin Poirier, in my opinion, is not that good, and Michael Chandler is not that good, despite knocking out Tony Ferguson and being the first man to do so. Oh my god. But anyway, yeah, finally confirmed, and that November 12th, I think, card. Yeah, UFC 280? 280? 281? I don't fucking know. Whatever the fuck it is fucking legit, and it is stacked. Anyway, Giga Chikadze is out of his fight against Sadiq Youssef. Yeah, he was the co-main event. He had to withdraw. September 17th was the scheduled bout in the UFC Apex. No explanation for why he pulled out. They haven't designated a replacement yet, but they are looking for somebody against Sadiq Youssef. So at least we're going to be getting one half of that fight. Johnny Walker. He says that he is reborn for UFC 279, saying that after getting off of CBD and THC, that he is, I don't fucking know. I mean, I didn't dislike Johnny Walker, you know. I just now I don't. I really don't. I'm glad he gets knocked out every single fight. I hope he gets knocked out again. I think he will get knocked out again. Fuck Johnny Walker. Fuck everything he stands for. Especially any kind of hot take he has for getting off of CBD and THC. He's an idiot. It's irresponsible rhetoric at this point to even attempt to bash a golden drug and medicine that is weed. What is this? It's fucking, it's 2022. What? and you're in some weird I don't that's the reason why you're gonna not Johnny Walker's career after doing it is crazy. It's crazy knowing that the downfall of a fighter was celebrating the worm and the repercussions and the end result of what happened because of the worm was the pretty much write off of your career. And then you're gonna bash it on weed because you can't own up to the responsibility of saying, hey, you know what? I'm fighting out of SBG Ireland, camp that has how many winners coming out of it? I mean, no disrespect, but like straight up, how many winners? I mean, yeah, you have Conor, but that's not a winner. That's not like you're the richest. Fine, him alone. So that's one. I guess that one dude, that Ian Gary, does he fight out of fucking SBG Ireland? I don't know. But yeah, don't blame it on the weed. Blame it on yourself. Blame it on your family. Blame it on everything. Don't ever blame it on the weed. I hope he gets knocked the fuck out again. I hope he ends up getting retired because I won't stand for any weed bashing of any kind, whatever the fuck. Speaking of retirement, though, Alessio De Chirico announces MMA retirement after UFC Paris loss. He says that it's the right time to stop. He was 13-7 in his MMA career, 4-7 in the UFC. This past weekend, he was stopped by Roman Kopylov, who is 1-2 in the UFC, 9-2 MMA total. This was his fifth loss in his past 6 fights. He had that one knockout of Joaquin Buckley by head kick. But then after that, it was just kind of a downhill, and he calls it a day. And tough L, because Alessio De Chirico, I was very fond of his fights. He liked to actually go at somebody. And at middleweight, it's kind of hard to find that kind of mentality. I mean, you see the end result. It's because you get knocked out a lot, but still, I really enjoyed it. And I hope he finds some solace in knowing that he provided me with a lot of entertainment, and I really look forward to his fights, despite him having years off between them. And just hoping he does something better out of MMA or whatever. Speaking of middleweights, Paulo Costa wants Robert Whittaker for his final fight on the UFC deal. I hope he doesn't change divisions before then. It's funny, dude. Like, Robert Whittaker has had one of the gnarliest schedules in middleweight history. The only tough bastard he didn't face was fucking Michael Bisping, but I mean, fuck. And to go out there and do what he did to Marvin Vettori this past weekend, he put on a master class. Very much that's what I thought. I thought he was just going to be a little too fast. Wrestling might have played a factor if if Robert Whittaker wasn't as good as he is against it and with it. Marvin Vettori was just a little too slow. Just a little bit. A little too slow. And that's all you need. At the highest level, whenever it's that high, it's just a little bit. And that little bit is what costs you the whole fight, which is crazy. I just don't know now what you do with Robert Whittaker. What do you actually do with this guy? Because, like, you have 2 losses against... Well, no. What am I doing? Yeah, Robert versus Paulo Costa. Paulo Costa's last fight on his UFC deal, what you do is you put him up against Robert Whittaker, and if I'm Paulo Costa, I'm knocking the fucking shit out of Robert Whittaker. And then I'm either dipping or I'm resigning, because that's the way to do it. Take away their golden boy, the nice guy of the division, the baby face of the middleweights, and knock him the fuck out. Now that you're claiming the secret juice, and end it. That's what I would do. That's perfect. But we'll see how soon Robert Whittaker wants to bounce back after that. But they both just fought, and it makes perfect sense. I got Robert Whittaker winning that one as well, by the way. But yeah, I mean that's the move. Speaking of moves and what the right move is, after you get a knockout, the typical fighter, it's jumping up on the ropes, on the cage, celebrating with friends and family. Ty Emery from BKFC, Bare Knuckle Boxing, BKFC Thailand 3 happened this past weekend, and she celebrated her knockout win by flashing her titties. So that was nice. That was a first time that I've ever seen that. I've been watching combat sports for a minute now. Yeah, she had an interview, I believe, with MMA Fighting, where she's just like, "That's who I am. This is only gonna get worse." And she says that all the feedback that she's had this entire time is nothing but good, which it should be nothing but good. Like, why the fuck would anybody else complain about seeing some titties after seeing a knockout? Like, that's heaven. Like, if all I could do was fucking see knockouts and then like Nina's titties, like that's dope. That's it. That's all I need. Some pizza, some cats, maybe a PS5. Yeah. So yeah, good on her. She made an impression. She was apparently fucking number one on Google Trends. So props to her. She did the thing, and hopefully for her next fight, she just keeps it to boobs and nothing else, or I don't know, whatever. Yeah. Speaking of things that are unbelievable, Mighty Mouse Demetrius Johnson says that he is missing 8 of his 11 UFC belts. He says that he kept the one after the Ray Borg fight, kept the one. I don't know. That's crazy. Yeah, he took a photo in Vegas. I think he bagged all of them up and just was told that he was gonna get them back, and he just never got them back. And yeah, he just doesn't know where they're at anymore. So, it must be fucking nice to know that you're such a badass that you can just kind of lose your championship belts and just be like, whatever, it's fine. I have another 5 of them. Like, so fucking crazy. Demetrius Johnson, for real, is one of those talents that if you're a newer fan to MMA and you haven't checked him out, you need to check him out whenever he pops up on one. Just because he's that fucking good. You guys got to understand, he's been doing this for decades now. Decades. At least one decade. One singular decade. We could say years, but decades fucking got big PP power, so we're gonna say a decade plus. Decade plus he's been doing this. So yeah, again, if you haven't checked him out, definitely do. It's just crazy to see his mind make decisions in real time. Like, just craziness. Crazy. Like, just rewatching the Adriano Moraes fight, it's just like so weird. Just seeing his, like, taking a part of an opponent in real time. It's like seeing a snake, like, know it's about to strike, but it's waiting. It's lurking for the right fucking moment to just like fucking Mighty Mouse. Jesus fucking Christ. What a fucking god. Anyway. Moving on from the highs of highs to the lows of lows. Mark Zuckerberg. He shows off MMA skills. He was doing 1-2s, leg kicks, shoots, defending, moving around, and apparently the guy that he was sparring with is going to make a Dana White Contender Series premiere at some point. Yeah, I wish I had one thing where Mark was not involved in my life in one way, shape, or form. I feel like I see him everywhere. Like he is alpha. We just don't. We don't acknowledge it. But he's like in everything. In everything. Like if you're listening to my podcast through Instagram that's owned by Meta, boom. It's just like, oh, damn it, dude. You also like MMA, dude. You can't just be that weirdo that's pasty on a fucking like a boogie board. You can't just be that dude. You gotta be a cool guy, like MMA, a cool guy that likes MMA. Fuck, dude. Like, great, man. But yeah, that is it for the MMA Minute with all the highlights. Off to its time where we talk about the main subjects, either from last week or this week, all the storylines. And so first we'll start off with last week's Paris fight card, UFC's first fight card in Paris. And yeah, just like a European circuit premiere, they fucking went off. The Paris crowd was insane. There were some moments where I was like, dude, guys, come on, please chill. They were immediately booing when people went to the ground. Like, it is MMA, it's fine. But I think they started off the night on the prelim. I think it was 3 or 4 fights in a row with finishes, and it was pretty fucking insane. We ended up getting into the main event, and for the 3 fights, or the 2 fights that really, really mattered, Robert Whittaker took on Robert Whittaker took on Marvin Vettori. Why am I freaking out? And yeah, Robert Whittaker goes out there, puts on a masterclass against Marvin Vettori. Robert Whittaker now has won the chance to face Paulo Costa. And there's really no ways to go about him not fighting Paulo Costa. That is the fight to make. On the other side of that, so now we have the main event. The main event, Tai Tuivasa, fucking spelled D-A-W capital G. Oh my god. The dude goes out there, he is a complete underdog. Some betting cards had him at fucking plus 600 as an underdog. And he goes out there and scores the first knockdown of Cyril Gane's career in the second round. And it was the craziest thing to see it, and just like, dude, he might fucking do it. He might dink and sink him. And when he does it, I'm just losing my shit. And then the fight kind of cools down a little bit, and Cyril Gane starts regaining control, starts regaining composure, and then starts digging his fucking toes into the abs, and also, I mean, no abs, but like into like the rib cage of Tai, just repeatedly over and over. And then he lands a head kick, and it lands flush, and Tai is dancing on rubber legs, and out of nowhere he tries to pull a Derek Lewis and comes at Cyril Gane, misses, but fuck, if that would have landed. Eventually Tai does a couple more body kicks, lands flush on Tai. He starts doing chicka dance again, and this time he bonks him. They say behind the head. I say, like, hey, protect yourself, and if you're bowing before your opponent, like, maybe don't put your back of your head in full display, you know? It's tough being that way because I love the fighters, and it's a fuck thing to do, but also, like, don't put yourself in that position. Defend yourself at all times. Like, it's the name of the game. The name of the game. Like, I can't fault somebody for knocking you the fuck out because you turn your head. Junior Dos Santos was going off on Cyril Gane because of that strike, where, I mean, it was a blatant strike to the back of the head, but yeah, it's because he was hurt. I mean, it's fucked. Like, if that was me, I'd be bummed, but also I'd be like, damn, why was I bowing? Like, why was my face looking at the ground and providing the opportunity to my opponent to hammer fist me from that position. Like, how did that happen? How did we end up here? So yeah. And then for that, Cyril Gane is talking about like an interim fight and some fucking rematch and some bullshit. Well, fuck you, Cyril Gane. Guess what? Because of that blatant fucking strike, you get to fight Curtis fucking Blades, and he's gonna wrestle fuck you into hell where you belong for doing that to Ty. That's the fight to make. That is the one. You don't get another shot at the title. You don't get John Jones. You don't get Stipe. You get fucking Blades. And you can't say, oh, because he doesn't have a big name. But shut the fuck up. Shut up. There's no other fights for you. Shut your fucking mouth. You fucking French bitch. You shut your fucking... You're 6'5" or whatever the fuck fucking French fucking mouth. You shut that... You shut it the fuck up. You fight fucking American as fuck Curtis Blades. That's what you fucking do. And you shut your fucking mouth. You fuck. Okay? You just shut it. Shut the fuck up. So you're gonna fight Curtis Blades. You're gonna be happy about it, and you're gonna get paid fucking $50,000. Okay? You're gonna shut up. You're gonna main event. Get a main event in fucking in fucking Singapore again. That's what you're gonna do. You're gonna main event in Singapore. You're gonna shut the fuck up and you're gonna fight Curtis Blades, okay? Fucking French. Yeah, and then for Ty, because he got knocked out, I do want him to recover a little bit. And somebody in the top 5 that's recovering a little bit is Tom Aspinall. So if their shit gets lined up in however way, shape, or form, it would be dope to see that fight happen sooner rather than later. But yeah, those are what I would like to see from UFC Paris winners and losers. For this upcoming UFC 279, though, so there's a couple of ways that some of these fights can go down. So first we have Holland versus Daniel Rodriguez. They're meeting at 180 because they needed a catch weight because they were doing this last minute. Daniel Rodriguez wasn't able to go to 170, so Kevin Holland is just not going to be on his diet to make that weight. And I really like this fight. It's going to be weird. The catch weight status, how fit was Daniel Rodriguez going into this fight, and how small is Kevin Holland leading up to it. I think it has a lot of things that... it's little things that move the meter one way or another. I think that Daniel Rodriguez is just the over-round better 170er. And depending on how small Kevin Holland is, or how big he is, or how fit he is, or like just in general what his capacity to fight right now is. Like, I mean, he did take this short notice, call Big Mouth, and he has strived under that situation, but he hasn't strived in that situation at a catch weight where he was trying to go to 170. He did this at 185. So it'll be interesting to see. It's a tough one to pick because I love them both, but I got D-Rod. I think Daniel Rodriguez has come a long way. He's looking very fit. He's looking very motivated. He's looking like he wants the elite, and he wants it now, and he's doing whatever he can to do it. Not to say that Kevin Holland isn't. I just think that maybe a last-minute replacement or short-notice fight is not the most ideal situation for him. And especially in a weight class where he hasn't done that before, there's just more questions than there are answers. And for me, I'm going to put my bottom dollar on Daniel Rodriguez over Kevin Holland. Just, yeah, why not? Fuck it. I think for that fight, it's just going to be a dog fight. If it ends up being decision, I can't even say fight on the night because we've got so many fucking bangers. But, shit, I don't fucking know, man. It's gonna be a really good fucking night. It's gonna be a really good fucking fight between both of those guys. But yeah, I got Daniel Rodriguez. I think he'll. Shit, he could possibly put fucking Kevin Holland away, man. I don't even know, man. I don't even know. I don't want to say it out loud. But he could. He could put Kevin Holland away. Who knows? Moving on to the co-main event, we have Tony Ferguson versus Li Jingliang. I won't get too involved into this. There's pros and cons to every Tony fight. So Tony fights are always lit because there's always that sense of like, why are you doing this? Like, why is he fighting this guy after that vicious knockout by Michael Chandler so soon after? Why did he have to do it on 2 weeks' notice? Why does he have to do it at 170? Why does he have to do it against Li Jingliang? This is why you ride for Tony. Because he brings the fucking entertainment. It doesn't make any sense. Why? Because it's provocative. It gets the people going. And that's what Tony Ferguson does, man. But him and Leach are not that crazy different. You know? Like, the whole mindset of the Leech is going to destroy Tony, I just don't get. Like, I understand the thought process behind that decision of, like, yeah, Tony's, he's going to get washed by fucking the Leech, man. He's going to get washed. Bro, the Leech went to a decision loss against Neil Magny. All I'm saying is, like, if you got an old wrestler that Neil Magny is and he can beat you, I'm not saying that Tony can't replicate that. Like, come on. At 170, that's different. How big, how prepared, how ready was Lee? Who knows? But they're both playing under the same kind of cards, except for Lee is at his weight class that he's been training, and this is the return of Tony Ferguson after 10 years of not being in the weight class. I don't know. I wouldn't be that surprised if Tony wins. Like, if we're really, really going to be putting the cards out on the table, I'm not going to be that surprised. The Leech is good. But just what we're going to say that Tony isn't? The only thing I can possibly see is that his chin is completely broken after the Michael Chandler punt of his face to the moon. That's the realistic thing that I can see. He might feel good, but maybe his chin is actually really gone. Who the fuck knows? The Leech, on the other hand, he can pull some Ponzinibbio shit and just knock out Tony. Like, if that chin is really fucking gone, the Leech can hit hard as fuck. So yeah, the two scenarios. Tony, I think, could finish or could decision win against the Leech. I do think the Leech, the only way he's going to win this fight, I don't think he wins a decision against Tony Ferguson. Unless Tony is completely washed, which he might very well be. I just think he's still a good fighter. I mean, if we're still looking at the same fight, the Chandler fight, look at the first round. Tell me he did not look fucking good in that fight. So yeah, for me, I got Tony Ferguson by decision. Though, again, he could get the submission and he could get the knockout. Now moving on to the main event. There was a lot of narratives going into this weekend saying, like, this is going to be the last time that we see Nate Diaz in the UFC. And truthfully, I don't know. The way he was going about speaking of some of the things made me kind of go, I think he's angling for a fight with Conor, but he just doesn't want what he's currently getting paid. That's the vibe I got. I want to fight this guy so I can get a new deal so I can fight Conor for the trilogy. Because I just don't want to get paid a couple million. I want to get paid, $1 million and some change. But yeah. I think it'll be a washout by Chimaev. I think you do end up in a place where it might be too much punishment if Chimaev doesn't mercifully put out Diaz with a submission. But for a G that's been in the game for as long as he has, against a guy that is not proven in championship rounds, and just for being a gangster, like, fuck it, Nate. I think everybody in the world, Nate. We're all going for Nate. Nate could win. He has the reach advantage. He's not a small welterweight. He is just a welterweight. Khamzat will be taller, but he won't have the reach advantage. So if he's not able to land that jab and keep that distance, I don't know. I think Chimaev goes out there and he shoots immediately. But if he tries to be smart, he tries to jab out Nate Diaz, keep the length. Who knows? Like, Nate Diaz might be giving him the 1-2 that he did with Leon Edwards. Like, that's the thing. Like, Nate Diaz could be losing this fight the entire fucking way and land a 1-2. And then that's it. It doesn't matter if he wins the fucking fight. It doesn't fucking matter if he wins the fucking fight. He lands a 1-2 and stutters you. Like, that's it. That's done. Game over. You lost. And that Leon Edwards 1-2 just looks now fucking insane. It looks fucking crazy. But in terms of what I think that will happen, yeah, I'm rooting for Nate. Do I think he'll win? No. I think it's 70-30. Nate wins. Khamzat wins 70. But yeah, I think that Khamzat is just a little too young, a little too hungry, and a little too well prepared. And I don't know how well prepared Nate is and how willing he is to just lose, to say, fuck it, get me a new deal to fight Conor. You know? But, I mean, fucking respect, man. That's respect to fucking Nate. Going out like that. Who the fuck knows? But UFC 279 is shaping up to be fucking awesome. But that is it for this week's show, if I can say so. I do think it's the best episode yet. I would love to talk shit with you, hear your thoughts. Let me know. Do you guys think that all of my takes, do you think that Nate actually wins? Do you think Chimaev bores, just destroys? Paulo, last fight of his deal, do you think he should fight Robert Whittaker? Tony Ferguson, does he win? Should he retire? Am I ludicrous for thinking that Li Jingliang is not that crazy of a fight for Tony to win? But yeah, hit us up on Twitter at NoNameMMA1, on Instagram at no.name.mma.show, also on TikTok on there. You can hit us up via snail mail at nonamemmashow@gmail.com. As always, have a great rest of your week. From me, Motivated Andy. Talk at you guys next week. Invest in your mental health. And fuck you, John Jones. Peace.
Call me I know what he calls you. Call me a fatherless bastard.